What if the person who changed your life the most was once your enemy? Not your friend, not your family, but someone who started as a threat and became your greatest guide. That is the powerful transformation of Piccolo in Dragon Ball Z. Because Piccolo's story is not just about strength, it's about redemption, mentorship, and the evolution from isolation to connection. Piccolo doesn't begin as a hero. He is born from hatred, literally carrying the will of his predecessor, King Piccolo. His existence is rooted in revenge, his purpose defined by destruction. And when your identity is built on anger, everything you see becomes a target. Every interaction becomes a potential conflict. Every relationship becomes impossible because anger isolates. It pushes people away, creating distance. And in that distance, it reinforces itself. In the early stages of his life, Piccolo operates alone. He doesn't trust, doesn't connect, doesn't care. His strength is undeniable, but it's incomplete. Because strength without direction becomes emptiness. Power without purpose becomes destructive. And deep down, beneath the surface of his cold exterior, there is something missing, something he doesn't yet understand. That missing piece begins to take shape when he encounters Gohan. At first, their relationship is not built on kindness or compassion. Piccolo takes Gohan and trains him harshly, pushing him beyond his limits, exposing him to fear, forcing him to survive. On the surface, it looks like cruelty, but psychologically, something deeper is happening. For the first time, Piccolo is responsible for someone else, and responsibility changes people. Because when you are responsible for another life, your perspective shifts. It's no longer just about your own goals, your own pain, your own revenge. It becomes about protection, about guidance, about influence. And even though Piccolo doesn't realize it immediately, this responsibility begins to reshape his identity. Gohan, on the other hand, represents something Piccolo has never experienced: innocence, empathy, and emotional openness. Where Piccolo is hardened, Gohan is gentle. Where Piccolo is driven by anger, Gohan is driven by care. And over time, that contrast begins to affect Piccolo in ways he cannot ignore. This is one of the most powerful aspects of mentorship. It's not a one-way exchange. The mentor teaches the student, but the student also transforms the mentor. Through Gohan, Piccolo begins to experience connection. He begins to understand what it means to care about someone beyond himself, and that understanding becomes the foundation of his redemption. As their bond grows, Piccolo's actions begin to change. He is still strict, still disciplined, still powerful, but there is a new layer beneath it, a sense of purpose that goes beyond destruction. He is no longer just training Gohan to fight. He is preparing him to survive, to grow, to become stronger, not just physically, but mentally. And then comes one of the most defining moments in his journey, the moment he sacrifices himself to protect Gohan. This moment is not just emotional, it's transformative. Because for someone who was once defined by selfish goals and revenge, choosing to give up their life for someone else represents a complete shift in identity. It's the ultimate act of compassion, and it proves something powerful. People are not fixed. They can change, they can evolve, they can become something entirely different from where they started. Piccolo's redemption is not about erasing his past, it's about transcending it. He doesn't pretend he was never a villain. He doesn't deny where he came from. Instead, he builds on it. He takes the strength, the discipline, the resilience that came from his past, and combines it with something new: compassion. And that combination is what makes him one of the most balanced characters in the series. Because true strength is not just about power, it's about control. It's about knowing when to fight and when to protect. It's about understanding that force alone is not enough. You need purpose to guide it. As the story progresses, Piccolo continues to embody this balance. He becomes a strategist, a protector, a mentor, not just to Gohan, but to others as well. His presence brings stability, his decisions are calculated, and all of this stems from the internal transformation he went through. There's also a deeper psychological lesson in Piccolo's journey. Redemption is not something that happens instantly. It's a process, a series of choices made over time. Every time Piccolo chooses to protect instead of destroy, to guide instead of isolate, to connect instead of withdraw, he reinforces his new identity. And that's how real change works. You don't become a different person overnight. You become a different person through consistent action, through repeated decisions that align with who you want to be, rather than who you used to be. Piccolo also shows us the importance of emotional growth and strength. Many people believe that to be strong, you must suppress emotion, that compassion makes you weak. But Piccolo proves the opposite. His compassion doesn't weaken him, it refines him. It gives his power direction, it gives his strength meaning. Because without compassion, strength becomes dangerous. But with compassion, it becomes protective. His relationship with Gohan remains one of the most powerful examples of mentorship in anime. It's built on challenge, growth, trust, and mutual transformation. And it shows that sometimes, the people who push you the hardest are the ones who care about your growth the most, even if they don't express it in obvious ways. At the end of the day, Piccolo's story is about balance. The balance between power and purpose, between strength and compassion, between who you were and who you choose to become. He started as a symbol of destruction, but became a symbol of guidance. He started alone, but found connection. He started with hatred, but learned compassion. And that transformation is what makes him powerful. Because true strength is not just the ability to fight, it's the ability to change.